Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a heartwarming story that proves you can find a connection in the most unexpected places. Meet Sakura, a quiet girl you'd usually find with her nose in a book, trying her best to blend into the background. And then there's Ren, the guy everyone knows, always surrounded by friends, the life of the party. Their worlds were orbits apart, until one fateful day during the school festival. The festival was a whirlwind of energy, with colorful stalls, loud music, and students buzzing everywhere. Sakura, tasked with fetching some extra supplies, slipped away from the chaos and headed to the old gym storage room. It was a dusty, forgotten corner of the school, filled with old sports equipment and forgotten memories. She found what she needed, a box of decorations, but just as she turned to leave, the heavy door creaked open. Ren stood there, a sheepish grin on his face. He'd been sent on the same errand. "Hey, Sakura-san," he said, his voice echoing slightly in the cramped space. Sakura just gave a small nod, her heart fluttering. She wasn't used to this kind of attention, especially not from him. Ren grabbed a different box, and as they both moved towards the exit, a sudden loud bang echoed through the gym. The heavy metal door slammed shut. A gust of wind from an open window had done it. They both froze. Ren jiggled the handle. Nothing. He pushed against the door with his shoulder. It wouldn't budge. "Uh-oh," he muttered. "I think we're locked in." Sakura's eyes widened in panic. Locked in, with Ren. The idea was terrifying. She felt her cheeks flush and her breath catch in her throat. This had to be a nightmare. She sank down onto a dusty gymnastics mat, hugging her knees to her chest, trying to disappear. Ren, seeing her distress, tried to lighten the mood. "Well, on the bright side," he joked, "at least we get to miss cleanup duty." Sakura didn't respond, just stared at the floor. An awkward silence filled the room, broken only by the muffled sounds of the festival outside. It felt like an eternity. Ren sighed and sat down a few feet away, leaning against a stack of old vaulting horses. "Sorry about this," he said quietly. "I didn't mean for the door to slam." Sakura finally found her voice, though it was barely a whisper. "It's not your fault." More silence. But this time, it felt a little different. Less awkward, more thoughtful. Ren broke it again. "You know," he started, "I always see you reading. What kind of books do you like?" Sakura was surprised he'd even noticed. Hesitantly, she told him about the fantasy novels she loved, the worlds she escaped into. To her astonishment, Ren's eyes lit up. "No way. I love fantasy too." He started talking about his favorite series, a classic tale of knights and dragons. Sakura, emboldened by his enthusiasm, shared her own favorite, a story about a hidden magical world. They discovered they had read many of the same books. The initial tension between them began to melt away, replaced by the shared joy of storytelling. They debated which author built the most compelling world, which character had the most tragic backstory. For the first time, Sakura wasn't just the shy girl. She was someone with opinions, with passions, and Ren was genuinely listening. As they talked, Sakura started to see a different side of Ren. He wasn't just the popular, carefree guy everyone thought he was. He spoke about the pressure to always be on, to meet everyone's expectations. He confessed that sometimes he just wanted to be alone with a good book, but felt like he couldn't. "It's like everyone expects me to be this one person," he said, looking at a dusty volleyball. "But that's not all I am." Sakura understood that feeling completely. "I know what you mean," she admitted. "People just see me as the quiet, shy girl. They don't try to look past that. It's easier to just stay quiet than to try and explain." It was a moment of pure, unfiltered honesty. In the dim light of the storage room, surrounded by forgotten objects, they had found a common ground they never knew existed. They weren't just the popular boy and the shy girl anymore. They were just Sakura and Ren. The conversation drifted from books to dreams. Sakura confessed her dream of becoming an illustrator, of bringing the fantasy worlds she loved to life on paper. She'd never told anyone that before. She showed him a small sketchbook she always carried in her bag. Ren leaned closer to look. The pages were filled with beautiful, intricate drawings of mythical creatures and enchanting landscapes. "Wow, Sakura-san, these are incredible," he said, his voice full of genuine awe. "You're really talented." Sakura's heart swelled with a warmth she'd never felt before. It wasn't just a compliment, it was validation. He saw her, truly saw her, for who she was and what she dreamed of becoming. Ren then shared his own secret ambition. He wanted to be a chef. He talked about his love for cooking, how creating a dish felt like its own kind of magic. He described the satisfaction of seeing people enjoy something he'd made. It was a passion that seemed so at odds with his public persona, but to Sakura, it made perfect sense. As he was describing his signature ramen recipe, his voice full of passion, Sakura found herself laughing. A real, genuine laugh. Ren stopped, surprised, and then a wide, warm smile spread across his face. "What's so funny?" he asked, though he was smiling too. "Nothing," she said, still smiling. "It's just, I've never seen you talk about anything like that. It's nice." The air between them crackled with a new kind of energy. The small, dusty room no longer felt like a prison, but a sanctuary, a place where they could be their true selves without any judgment. Time seemed to slip away. The muffled sounds of the festival had faded into a distant hum. Suddenly, Ren looked toward the small, high window. The light filtering through had turned a soft orange. "It must be getting late," he said. Just as he said it, they heard a rattling at the door. "Hello? Is anyone in there?" It was a teacher's voice. "We're doing a final sweep of the school. We're in here," Ren called out. "The door is jammed." A few moments later, there was a loud click, and the door swung open, revealing their worried-looking homeroom teacher. "Sakura-san, Ren-kun, we've been looking for you. Are you all right?" They both stood up, blinking in the sudden light from the hallway. "We're fine, Sensei," Ren said, running a hand through his messy hair. The door just got stuck. They stepped out of the storage room and back into the familiar school hallway. The festival was over. The corridors were quiet and empty, save for a few stray decorations. It felt like waking from a dream. They walked in silence for a moment, the spell of the storage room slowly breaking. But something had changed. The space between them was no longer an awkward chasm. As they reached the school entrance, ready to head their separate ways, Ren turned to Sakura. "Hey," he said, a little shyly, "about what we talked about. Your drawings, they're amazing. You should really do something with that." Sakura clutched her sketchbook to her chest. "And you," she replied, her voice soft but clear. "I'd love to try your ramen someday." A smile touched Ren's lips. "It's a deal." He hesitated for a second, then said, "I'll see you tomorrow, Sakura-san." And for the first time, he didn't just say her name. He said it with a warmth and familiarity that made her heart skip a beat. "See you tomorrow, Ren-kun," she replied, a small, confident smile on her face. As Sakura walked home under the evening sky, she felt different. The world didn't seem so intimidating anymore. She had been seen, she had been heard, and she had connected with someone in a way she never thought possible. And she knew, with a quiet certainty, that this was just the beginning of a new chapter. What do you think will happen next for Sakura and Ren? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This story is a beautiful reminder that sometimes, the most meaningful connections are forged when we forced to step out of our comfort zones and show our true selves. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this. We'll see you in the next video.